Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to our channel. Right now, Fubara, the suspended governor of Rivers State, has decided to speak out over his possible link with the Militant group. Don't forget that a lot has been happening right now in Rivers State after the suspension of Fubara, which one of the reasons was the fact that there were oil explosion and he wasn't doing anything about it. According to the president, different militant groups have come up to make some very strong statement. One of those statements, let me just allow you to watch this short clip.
We didn't start clip before, but today, seems say we could come outside, come make the state day in order. But one person saying no go agree.
Hey, that's what we are talking about. Now, this kind of thing has been thrown around social media and it has triggered a lot of talks. Most people believe that it has connection with the militancy group and they are going to be doing a lot of harm and all of that. Fubara has decided to come out to speak about his link with militancy group. But despite his clarification, you're going to also hear the intention of militant groups right now in the Niger Delta. I don't know where we are heading, if we are going back to 2011 or 2009 when this issue of militancy was so high in Niger Delta. But first of all, let's consider what Fubara had to send out as an info over the repeated accusation or allegation against him that he had a link with this militancy group in the Niger Delta. He says our attention has once again been drawn to a flurry of malicious, fake, and imaginary videos of purported explosion on oil and gas facilities in Rivers State. Visually, all the fake videos have been linked to alleged militant groups in the state, with the creators of such content trying very hard to connect them to supporters of Governor Fubara. Already, the communities where these incidents are alleged to have occurred have reacted, dismissing any claims of explosion on oil and gas facilities in their domain and are reassuring that all critical government assets within their areas are safe, secured, and efficiently functioning. For the avoidance of doubt, Governor Fubara has no link to any militant group, does not contemplate any such association, and has no reason to encourage any criminal group or elements anywhere in the state or Niger Delta to undertake any action inimical to the peace of the people or safety and security of oil and gas facilities, and by extension, the economy of the country. The governor has repeatedly made it clear at every public event that the peace of the state is paramount to him and that he would pay any price to secure and sustain peace in the state, as it is only in an atmosphere of peace and security that governance and development can strive. Governor Fubara vehemently warned purveyors of violence and economic sabotage to stay clear of the state and avoid any attempt to use his name or capitalize on the present political crisis to foment trouble in the state. It is also important to warn bloggers and social media hirelings to stop forthwith their campaign to create an atmosphere of tension, chaos, and anarchy in the state, as their fake reports and posts in the last couple of days have triggered enough wrong decisions that would not help the state move forward. Security agencies should take note of these fake videos designed to misinform the people and further paint the state in bad light, and take every necessary step to contend them and bring those behind them to book. This was signed by Nelson Chukwu, the Chief Press Secretary to the governor, and that was done today. Now, with that, we believe that everything should be under control. But interestingly, you're going to hear some infos about militant group in Niger Delta trying to, get uniformity to do certain things, which is totally inimical to the progress of the economy of the country. So what is making the rounds right now is that there are Niger Delta militant that they have reconvened and they're planning another fresh attack. And we're beginning to wonder now. The information having that a secret report that militant leaders have regrouped at an undisclosed Creek community to plan and coordinate collective attack on oil facility trigger fresh tension in the Niger Delta at the weekend. Now, the gathering came a few days after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended the governor of Rivers State, Fubara, by declaring a state of emergency last Tuesday. Now, the details were not apparent yesterday, but a dependable source said that the militant leader, that's a dependable source who revealed to Vanguard, said that the militant leaders wanted to ensure full participation of the various militant groups in the Niger Delta and were holding wide consultation with leaders. Commander B.B. Oduku, the Commandant General of the Riverine Security Coast Guard of the Federation, who confirmed the high trade in the Niger Delta and probable impact on Nigerian economy, admonished President Tinubu to reconsider the suspension of Fubara. And this was his word. He said, I urge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to carefully consider the suspension of the Rivers State governor because of the heightened tension and threats in the Niger Delta. These threats pose a significant risk to the nation's economy. Militant groups are planning to attack federal government properties across Niger Delta state, while miscreants may exploit the situation to engage in criminal activities. This could lead to loss of life among innocent citizens and military personnel deployed for peacekeeping. Commander Oduku, however, assured that riverine security officers are vigilant and ready to prevent unauthorized groups from engaging in illegal activities and will work closely with the Nigerian military and other security agencies to apprehend those involved in attacks on federal government properties. Also, Captain Eric Forturu and Thank God Oprum, in charge of the rivers and Delta state waterways respectively, pledged their support to the military in calming the security situation in the state and the Niger Delta in general. Oduku recalled the statement of a former Presidential Amnesty boss, Brigadier General Paul T. Boro, retired, who cautioned youth in the Niger Delta against allowing anger to dictate their action. According to him, he said President Tinubu is not a proponent of violence, so youth should refrain from unlawful acts that could harm lives and property. He condemned the destruction of oil palm line in Rivers and Akwa Ibom State, promising that the riverine security officers would bring perpetrators to justice. The commander and general advised citizens of Rivers State and the Niger Delta to embrace peace and allow the law to take its course. This is getting very interesting, I must say. Now, Fubara says he has no info, about what is happening, but then we are seeing a lot of, infos on social media, on the, media, that there's an intention of more things happening in Rivers State, which is not good enough. One of the things I think that is very important for us to look at right now is the step taken by the presidency must be well explained for the people to really understand. Because if those things, right now we've seen legal luminaries picking up those issues and expatiating on it. The NBA have picked it up and they have talked about it. The president of NBA have also taken out time during an interview to talk expressly about it, and it still puts the president at the point of fault that he is going above board. He's going above his powers. 305 was not 305, that's section 305. The conditions that demand emergency rule in any state was not in Rivers State. Now, suspension of Similar Fubara climaxed the whole thing. So right now, Similar Fubara may not even be in connection with any of these people, just like he had rightly pointed out. He may not be connected to the militant group, but some of them believe that it's a slap on their face. I think the last person who spoke far back, some days ago, I think very dark man, said something very striking when he made mention of the fact that the weakling nature of the Jaws made the APC to form, and they kicked out Jonathan from his position. Though that one was legitimate, they kicked out Jonathan. That now that he just have opportunity to rule in Rivers State, they have just kicked out their son. that this will serve as a precedent that they don't have the capacity to lead and they must correct it. That statement with some other ones that we have heard across board, people talking and everybody like, man, what is going on? And there are no lies to it, So similar Fubara, even opting out of the office, for most people, it was not what he should do. But then some believe that he needed to do that so that the crisis in Rivers State would not escalate beyond, bounds. All of this put together is making so much tension to, come up in the Niger Delta. The big question is, what's the way forward? Would the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is behind all of this in terms of the suspension and the declaration of state of emergency, would he reconsider his decision? Because I am so sure that if he reconsiders his decision, a lot of these things we are hearing in the southeast or in the Niger Delta would really calm down. But I don't think he has a precedent of reconsidering his decision. Don't forget, when he came on board, first day, subsidy is gone. Despite the pressure on Nigeria, he stood his ground till today. Nigeria, we are still passing through or suffering the consequences of that word. Subsidy is gone. So I don't think Bola Ahmed Tinubu will turn his back and, rescind from what he said. Let's meet in our conversation. What's your standpoint on all of these things that have been happening in Rivers State? Do you think that we are in for another crisis in the nearest future, especially as that to do with militancy and Niger Delta